Hi, I'm Janicia and welcome to my channel.
So the greenhouse came. I am excited.
I didn't realize that this box was going to be so huge, and I could have waited till my husband came home to take it to the backyard, but I was so excited and I just really wanted to start the process, because if he came home he would have said, okay, well, we'll do it together, but just give me some time, and I am very impatient, so I at least wanted to start, and I thought it would be a good project for the boys and I to do. But my second son, he was sick this day and he didn't feel well, so we didn't really have his help. And so Aiden and I, we tried our best to start putting this together. And let me tell y'all, I am not good at reading directions to assembly things. Like, it's just not my strong point at all. It's something that I'm weak at doing. And then come to realize that we didn't properly level the ground. And so we still had so much wood chips there. So we had to remove some of the wood chips. And it was a lot of work that day, but I was determined to get it done because I wanted to do as much as possible. And especially if Daniel, who is my husband, he came home, I wanted to have as much done as possible for him to help us out. And then it would move a lot smoother and we didn't have to do extra things. So I had to run back inside because I had bread that was proofing. And this is just regular, it's a sourdough bread, but I had to put yeast in it because I just wanted to hurry up and kind of speed the process up. So it has a little bit of yeast in it, and I just wanted to make sandwich bread for the children. I don't usually eat the sandwich bread because I put sugar in the sandwich bread, and at this time, I should say, I am actually trying to tone up and trying to stay away from eating sugar and certain things in my food. I stopped buying bread a while ago, and so I always have to make sure I kind of give the children the kind of bread that they want, even though they don't mind regular sourdough bread. But the sandwich bread is easier for them to cut and for them to manage. So I usually make this bread for them, and I make it maybe about 2 to 4 loaves per week for them to eat, and they like to eat it with peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly. So I'm gonna let it proof, and while it proofs, then I can do other things. And it took about an hour to proof, and then I was able to bake it at 375 for about 35 to 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes around that time. So we're back outside, and I'm reading the directions like I know what I'm doing. And I started putting together the top part of the greenhouse, and I'm doing a terrible job. I am just going to humble myself and wait for my husband because he knows how to do this better than I can. And just like I'm better at cooking than he is, he's better at building things than I am, and I'm just going to wait for him. In the meantime, I am going to get started with dinner, and I'm going to find whatever random thing that's available already in the garden to make for dinner. So I found some peppers. I didn't really have anything planned. I usually don't plan like a full dinner like during the weeks or whatever. I usually have an idea, like a foundation, I guess you can say, of what I'm going to make per day. But this day was a little bit off. So I usually have, like, on Mondays, it will be like meatless Mondays. Tuesday, we'll have something taco related or a burrito bowl, something like that. On Wednesdays, we'll have Walk Wednesdays where we'll do something stir fried. And this day was a little bit off, but the good thing about having a garden is that you can be so creative. You can use whatever you got to make a meal. You don't necessarily have to have an exact plan. You have your foundations, onions, garlic, some peppers, or celery, depending on, how you cook. But you have your foundations, and then you can kind of go from there. We had some eggs, so we decided to just make a frittata. I am using this chopping thing, a gadget. I don't know what it's called. But I bought it from Amazon like maybe about 2 years ago. I love it, like it, don't like it. I don't know. It just gets annoying with certain parts whenever you're slamming it down. It keeps on coming apart. But it's cool for what it is, and it does its job. So, yeah, so I'm just mixing up all my vegetables. I got some Swiss chard in there for some color, some rainbow Swiss chard or spinach, as some people call it, and some peppers, some basil. I don't remember what else I put in there, but whatever I picked out of the garden, I just dumped it in there with some feta cheese, and we'll put the remaining mozzarella cheese that we have on top. And I had some salad cheeses, which is like a mixture of cheeses. I just toss that on top as well. It's fun to get creative in the kitchen and use the things that you have so you don't spoil your food. So we had some potatoes that was sprouting that we picked over the spring, and we are using the last of it right now. They're tiny potatoes. I still have a little struggle growing potatoes like that, but we're getting there. And I just tossed them with some avocado oil and put that to roast. In the meantime, I went back outside to help out with the greenhouse. Daniel came and he assisted and showed the boys exactly what to do, and it was a major help. Like, oh my goodness. I am so grateful that he's able to come and just be handy in that way because I don't know what I would have done. My son had already took the frittata out of the oven because we only baked that for 15 minutes, and I just came back inside to get the potatoes off. So we decided that we'll just call it a night because it was getting pretty late and we wanted to have dinner, and we will go back to tackling the greenhouse the next morning. And I'm just putting the bread away because we did not have the bread for lunch. We ended up having something else. And so I am just pairing the frittata with some red beans that I cooked in the Instant Pot, the roasted potatoes, and some green lettuce. That's it. And a side of kombucha. So this is my husband's meal, and I would normally share the children and then myself last. That's just the way how I do it in my house, and no real method to it, just. So I'm proceeding to go ahead and make more sourdough bread. This is just regular plain sourdough bread, just flour, salt, and water. And this is mainly for myself and my husband. My children would have it too as well, but it's mainly for us that we would have. So yeah, I'm just putting everything together. It's just water, sourdough starter, flour, and I usually use bread flour, which I read out of bread flour. So I'm using rye flour and whole wheat flour in my bread. And I'm making my favorite bread, which is it's just dried fruits. So it's a package that I normally buy from Walmart, and it has like cherries and cranberries and all those other kind of dry fruits in there and some golden raisins. And I usually like that with walnuts, and that's what I usually eat. And that's like my little treat for me. I just really enjoy this bread. It's like one of my favorite. I will try different nuts one day. I think I would like to try one with like pumpkin seeds or something like that. And I've tried sunflower bread that I've made before, which I actually do enjoy sunflower bread. It's just that I don't make it very often. I don't know why, but I just don't make it very often. I've been eyeing some walnuts in a walnut tree in my neighborhood, and I need to go see if they're ready because I really would like to process and have my own black walnut that I forage from the wild. I think that would be really fun, and I'm learning how to forage and find out about different fruits and nuts and different things that's in the wild for us to eat that is just provided for us for free, right? So I'm just stretching my bread, getting it ready and putting it in the Bannington, and I will put this in the fridge until sometimes about 12 hours. I usually put it for up to 48 hours, depending on my schedule and what I'm doing and what we got going on. But these breads are actually left in the fridge for about 48 hours. This is the next day, and we are here bright and early to work on this greenhouse. It's a little bit chilly this morning, but not freezing cold, just a little chilly because it's early and we're in the south. And in the south, in the mornings are cold, and by 10 o'clock, it's hot. So we're still working on the greenhouse, just putting the footings down. Maybe that's what it's called, but we have to make it higher, which I didn't realize that I was doing wrong in the first place. So I was frustrating myself. But we were able to get it up, and now we could actually walk through it. So that's actually pretty good. We have to make some adjustments to this greenhouse, so we will not be able to finish it today. But we got a lot done. Daniel, he showed me exactly where I did wrong, and I see that. And next time I'll just wait for him, and I'll just be patient and realize that he's just better at putting things together than I am. That's just not my place, and that's okay. So, yeah, and the boys, they're pretty, cool. They did pretty good too. So I'm very proud of them for that. So this is 2 days later, and I'm finally baking these breads. So I normally spread salmonella. I think that's how you say it. Salmonella flour. That's what I usually use. You could use cornmeal flour as well. And I usually use it on my parchment paper. And here I am scoring the bread. I don't do anything super fancy. I try, but I don't have time for that right now. So I'm just baking my breads. I normally bake my breads at 500 for 15 minutes in my Dutch oven. And what I do is I'll put the Dutch oven in the oven first and make sure it's heated up. And then I will take it out with carefully because it's very hot. And then that's when I will bake it for 15 minutes. And then I will take the cover off and then bake it again at 450 for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the bread. But that's my method, and that's what I usually use for all of my breads. And these are my breads. They're so pretty. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. See you next time. Bye.